Do black men secretly hate their mothers? Hi, welcome to In the Box. Listen to this scathing letter written by a black woman and read by a black man. The letter is about the hate that many black men have for black women.
Black men secretly hate their mama. Black men's issue is not really with you, ladies. It's with their mother because their daddy left their mama. If you're not already triggered and you're sticking around, Crystalline Karazin, also known as the Pink Pill, wrote a letter in response to the single mother crisis and the absent father crisis within our community. And this is probably the most scathing letter that I think has ever been written, but it is the most truthful thing I think I've ever read. This letter, sister, is from someone who is sitting, not so quietly observing, and taking notes as I look upon angry black men all over the internet, making videos and blog posts about how ugly you are, how unworthy you are of love, how disgusting you look in your hairstyles and clothes, how no man in his right mind could stand to tolerate you more than one night, and it better be in the dark, with a bag over your head. These men are the babies you birthed, the boys you loved and spoiled, the young men you wrangled with, who grew up with you at the helm of the household, mostly without their fathers, and they hate you for it. The chickens have come home to roost as the wave of I can be both mother and father to my son has reached its peak. It's the results we'll continue to see as 80% of black women all across all social and economic strata are having their first children unmarried and unprotected. They hate you because you are there. They hate you because you're the one who stayed and struggled, no doubt made some mistakes. Hey, we all do. And found yourselves impotent and incompetent in all things man-related, an essential and necessary factor for boys to grow into men, that is. The husband you married when he was 15 years old was probably too late to truly make a difference. And even if he did, your son will always have a hole in his heart for the father who never was. But because you were there and shielded your son from death and starvation, gave your son comfort and kisses, he can't show his anger towards you. You will always be highly esteemed. He'll praise and sing odes of mama and beat anyone to a pulp if they dare say anything against you. So what does your son do with all that anger? He takes it out on every single woman that looks like you. Your son wants to call you fat and ugly and unwanted. He wants to say that you're too black and nappy-headed to be beautiful. You must be all of those things because if you weren't, then maybe his father would have thought that you were worth sticking around for. He wants to say, mama, you ain't worth but he can't. And so he says it to us. Now that the man boy you have raised has the body of an adult, he has no idea what he wants. He wants to be the man he never saw growing up, and he might as well be 8 years old trying on his grandfather's old suit. He is not equipped. He expresses his manhood in the basest and most primal way, out of instinct and desire for dominance. He will have Herculean expectations of you as a partner. You must work full time, come home, clean, and cook, and fuck him like a porn star, obviously, ladies, I would say that's the truth. At 3 a.m, that is, support him in every decision he makes, no matter how idiotic. Tolerate gross disrespect. To be a man is to pump and dump the worthless, unlovable, and ugly black women he despises. And if he leaves a few babies in his wake, so what? He'll make claims that he'll be around for the child, but that ain't getting his money. He'll be there for birth and bring you the grandmother along to fawn, and within 5 years, he'll be gone and maybe show up for sporadic weekends and day trips to Disneyland. But he'll leave you to do all the heavy lifting, and that son that you raise will grow up and hate you and us too. You birthed him, but he hates you because it's just easier. These men who hate you and all of us will disguise their venom about how our attitudes and hair and hats and hair hats and obesity make us undesirable to all races. So don't even bother going on pages like Beyond Black and White because you're just a thirsty black bitch. And don't you know that nobody wants you? He'll tell you that his verbal barbs are done out of love because he wants you to do better. That black man will even say that while he spits on you, he really only dates and mates with black women. So that's proof that he really does care, right? Pleasing him will always be a moving target because you're not meant to win, only run on the fucking hamster wheel frenetically and breathlessly, only to go nowhere. And when the relationship fails, the men who dog you tell you that you needed to choose better, while having no desire themselves to actually be better candidates. They want us as women to make them as men better, all the while knowing that we cannot. We cannot rebirth what has already been birthed. We cannot recreate what has already been created. And so many of us want so much to please him because, after all, he is our son. The baby we birthed, the boy we comforted and kissed, the young man we wrangled with. We don't want to believe that we raised a monster, but we did. Clearly the damage is done, but what can we do? We cannot undo several generations of black men who despise us, but we can guard our wombs against yet another legion of black woman-hating monsters. And yes, sisters, we do have, have the power. Stop birthing these haters of black women, these fire-breathing soul killers. Demand more and, yes, choose better. But do not choose from the less rotten of a bushel full of rotten apples and hope it won't make you sick. Demand to see all the fruit, the apples, the oranges, the plums, the strawberries, watermelons, and amongst them pick the ripest, the freshest, and the sweetest. That was a lot to take in, wasn't it? That was written by Crystalline Carrison in The Pink Pill 11 years ago. In a couple days, it'll be 11 years. At that time, she was already seeing the same bullshit that we're experiencing today. I'm here to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if you got to this part, if you got through that letter and you ain't pissed off, you ought to be. We are seeing the same we are seeing the same problem amongst men. Men now are talking about the kind of women we can't take on dates. Women are talking about the kind of places that you have to take them on dates. We are so far behind, it makes no fucking sense. Because the root cause is that black men secretly hate their mothers. Because they want to blame their mothers for their fathers leaving rather than blaming their daddies for leaving to go get milk and never coming back. This is the problem within the black community, and if we don't fix this, we're fucked.